It's amazing when I look back now and see what my dad has achieved and what we have become as a store and a family from that little beginning in 1977 in Alliance, Nebraska when I was 6 months old. My dad worked for a furniture store when he was in middle school and high school, and he thought to himself, you know, this is something I could see myself doing down the road. My parents got married and moved to Canada, and my dad was a sales rep for the Maytag Corporation. They didn't have much at all. They saved up a little bit of money, sold my mom's vehicle, moved to Alliance, Nebraska, into an old hardware and plumbing supply building. And my dad and mom used all the money they had, opened up that store. We actually lived in that store for a few months because they didn't have any money left over to have a place to live. In the early 1980s, he was having some success in Alliance. The railroad was growing, and he wanted to continue to look for a way to get back to eastern Nebraska, where his family and my mom's family was from. They found a store in Hastings, Nebraska, and my dad opened a second location. He would travel back out to Alliance to check on that store, and that was my first real taste of the business, because we'd always take merchandise back out to that store, and that was our time together. We would ride in that truck from Hastings out to Alliance. I would stay with my dad 3 or 4 days out there, and he would work at the store, and I would follow him around the store. I would go in the back room and pound nails into wood. I would sit there right along with him when he would meet with sales reps and learn and think to myself, you know, maybe this is something that I could see myself doing someday as well. And I went to college not originally wanting to be part of the store, but as I was in college and I missed being a part of the operation, being with my dad, learning from him, and I told him, I think I want to come back and work with you, Dad. And he thought that was great, but he then said to me, I'm not going to let you just come back and work now, because I don't want you to do it just because this is what I do. I want you to find out if you really love it, because you have to love retail and love customers if this is what you want to do the rest of your life. So he asked me to go work for a competitor. So I worked for a store about 80 miles away, learned from them. They knew what I was doing there, that I wasn't going to stay there long term, but it was one of the best experiences of my life to learn from somebody else and find out I did have the passion for it. And then I returned in 2000, and my dad and I opened our first store together in Holdridge, Nebraska. We added a Kearney location in October of 2005, and we've been so happy to be here in Kearney. We then were able to purchase a store in North Platte, Nebraska just last year in 2018. We've been fortunate enough that we have fantastic customers that continue to come back to us. We have the most dedicated employees. We have employees that have been with us well over 25 years at several locations, and that's really why we're successful, is because they allow us to do everything that we want to do. I don't think we're ever going to leave Nebraska. We love it here. We love the people here, and most importantly, the families that we get to affect by who works for us and our own personal families in our lives.